What sets apart those who rise to leadership effortlessly from those who struggle to break through? Listen, it's not luck, and it's not about being the loudest in the room. There's a formula. And once you understand it, you can become someone who will always have respect of the entire organization. Hey, I'm Nick Anderson. I am now the CEO of One Accord, a consulting firm, but I started young. I was actually a high school dropout when I started work as a part-time bank teller. I was only a bank teller for 1 year, and then I was promoted into be a personal banker. And I got promoted the next year. So when I was 19, I was promoted to be an assistant manager, and I was named assistant manager of the year that year. And I went on to manage branches, and my career lasted 25 years in the banking industry. There are myriad jobs in a large company like a bank. There's HR, there's marketing, there's accounting, there's sales, there's operations, there's risk and legal and compliance. And listen, so anybody wanting to have a career in a particular industry, just understand that there's a lot of different jobs in a company, in an industry. Well, today I'm the CEO of a company that was started 25 years ago. Now, sure, I've started things on my own. I have been a startup entrepreneur, but today I am an owner, partner, and CEO of a company, like I said, that was started 25 years ago. So how did I get here? How did I build a career that lasted 25 years in one industry and then transition to becoming the CEO of a company that was started 25 years ago? Well, I'm going to share some of that with you. The first and most critical element is actually having a vision. You know what's said. Everything starts with a vision. But here's the thing. Having a vision isn't the same thing as setting goals. Goals are what any decent manager can come up with. True leadership goes deeper than that. A great leader doesn't just focus on the current project or even the next quarter. Instead, they have the ability to look beyond what's right in front of them and create a compelling vision of the future that people actually want to work hard towards. I had a vision for what my life should be, could be, would be. Now, here's the thing. Great leaders don't just keep the vision to themselves. We're going to communicate in a way that gets people around us fired up. It's not just about hitting targets. It's about showing everyone how their efforts fit into something bigger and more meaningful. My vision is so big that other people's visions can fit inside of it. And they connect the team's daily tasks with that big vision, aligning everyone towards the same goal. Now, I give you examples many times. I would hire people onto my team and I would say, what do you want out of your career? And the first answer they'd give me is something they thought I wanted to hear. And I would just say back, what do you want in your life? I never had the idea that I would hire somebody and they would stay with me for life. Like, those days are gone. As a leader, I would say I wanted people to work for me their hardest and their best. And if that meant for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, that's fine. So I would ask people, what do you want in your life? And it doesn't have to do anything relate to banking at all. But let's look at the job that we have today and how can this work help you achieve your goals in the future? And if it can't, well then, it's not the right job. You shouldn't be here. Let's help you find the thing that you want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. Having a clear vision is crucial, but the vision alone, that isn't enough. The second key trait is empathy. And empathy is a fundamental trait of exceptional leadership, and it goes far beyond you just understanding your team's emotions. It really is truly engaging with their needs, their challenges, their motivations. It means knowing someone. Every member of your team comes with their own unique circumstances, their own struggles, their own wins and losses. As a leader, recognizing these individual aspects is crucial for creating a supportive and connected work environment. Empathy means being aware of what motivates your team and what obstacles they face, and responding to these with both understanding and support. I went through some major tragedy about 10 years ago, and I told my boss, listen, I'm taking time off. It wasn't an ask, it was a statement. If they would have fired me, that's just how it would have been. I knew my priorities and I knew what I had to do. My team chose to step up and rally around and support me in my absence so that I could do what I needed to do. They chose to. It wasn't out of compulsion. As I've gone through my career, when something happens in the life of somebody that's on my team, I am quick to acknowledge and to offer whatever it is that makes sense for the business and for the person empathetically. But I guess my point is, I'm not saying that empathy means you can let everybody off the hook all the time, because shit happens. Rather, it's acknowledge what happened, be human, and maintain accountability. I hope that makes sense. Moreover, empathy improves how you're going to deliver feedback. By understanding where a team member's coming from, you can provide constructive advice in a way that's encouraging rather than discouraging. It's understanding, it's in context. Let me give you an example. I'm talking to Bob. Bob, listen, last quarter was amazing. Now, I know that it's really easy for you to make cold calls. Like, that comes easier for you than anybody. But here's the thing, like, I really want to acknowledge. About 6 weeks ago, you had that thing go on with your family. I'm sorry about that. But the way that you both showed up for your kids during that time, and then also found a way to continue just keeping the momentum going here, that was amazing. And listen, I don't know if I could have done that myself. So you think about that. If I can acknowledge all things, and I'm not giving this person credit for something that they're just really good at, I actually want to reward the part that they leaned into, the part that was challenging, the part that was difficult. Now, here's a leadership trait that many aspire to, but few consistently live by: leading by example. Now, this really separates great leaders from the rest. This means embodying the values and standards that you want your team to follow, not just giving instructions, but demonstrating them through your actions. You can't ask more from your team than what you're willing to do yourself. If you expect your team to stay late, you should be the first one in and the last one out. If you want professionalism, you have to model it every day. So in this way, they're not just following orders, they're following you. So let me give you an example. In the wake of the shutdown connected to the pandemic, the US government, in connection with the Small Business Administration, issued what were called PPP loans, Paycheck Protection Program loans, to small businesses because every business was shut down, and this was a way to get money into the economy. And it was a nightmare. So my team and I, we were working from home and we had our laptops. We are communicating on submitting the SBA loan applications. And we prepped and we prepped and we worked many, many late nights consecutively, but we all did it together. Now, there's one person in particular, Dana. I do believe, like, Dana has really solid work ethic, but she wouldn't choose to give that solid work ethic if the team that she was on wasn't doing the same thing, and if the leader that she was working for wasn't willing to go first. So for this form of learning, consistency is critical. Leading by example isn't just something that you do occasionally. You gotta do it every day. So your actions are gonna set the tone for your team. They're gonna watch how you react in tough situations, how you take responsibility, and how you continue growing. Now that we've covered vision, empathy, and leading by example, let's dive into number 4, accountability. Accountability is like the backbone of effective leadership. It's about taking responsibility, not just for your own actions, but the outcomes of your entire team. When things go right, you celebrate those victories as a collective achievement. But when challenges arise or mistakes happen, a true leader steps up and owns the situation. Successes are we, failures are me. Being accountable means being transparent about decisions. Let me give you an example. So the guy on my team that brought this to me said, "Hey Nick, I was told I'd get $2 for this thing, but now I'm being told I'm only gonna get $1. So it was $2 in the beginning, and now it's $1, and it feels a bit like bait and switch. So I'm bringing it to you." So my response to the guy on my team was, "What was your expectation?" And he said it was $2. "And what was the agreement around that expectation?" And he said it was X, Y, and Z, and I had a sense of why somebody else was saying it should be $1. I had to make the decision in that moment, taking into full context all things. And so I said, "Brian, if we told you it was $2, it's $2. That's it. That's the end." Okay? I didn't blame the other guy for miscommunicating. Now, I certainly had a conversation on the back end to say, "Here's what happened. This is the decision I made. This is why. Now we're clear." Maybe it cost me an extra $1 in that decision, but the payoff, the level of engagement, the level of trust and effort that Brian is now putting in is 10x what it might have been. Accountability isn't only taking ownership of mistakes, it's also setting a standard for the team. I'll also say this: accountability is not micromanagement. Regular check-ins, constructive feedback, setting clear performance metrics are a part of the process. This is not micromanagement, it's clear communication. An accountable leader ensures that their team has all of the tools they need to achieve the goals, and they're also there to guide them through any obstacles that they might encounter. Here's an example. So after this earlier example with Brian, we're now engaged in actually several more deals. So he's engaged in negotiating on some new sales. And based on our earlier conversations, he is now equipped with more knowledge and more authority to make decisions. Now, along with the authority comes the responsibility. And the agreement that we have is, if you make a mistake, Brian, that's on me. Because if you make a mistake, it's because I haven't been clear, I haven't given you the tools, I didn't put enough into you, or I shouldn't have put you in that position to begin with. So this is ultimate accountability. Everything is on me. Think about this in the example. If I tell Brian he can offer up to 2 and he offers somebody 3, well then he's gone against our agreement and there will be consequence for that. I have to stand behind the $3 because here again, that's my name, our company, it's One Accord's reputation. Brian screwed up. I'm not gonna tell that guy that Brian screwed up. Our word is strong, but I have to address that with Brian. But what I've done is been very clear, given the tools so that he has the authority to then be responsible too, and that's what accountability is all about. Now we've covered 4 of the most important elements every leader should master. So, to sum it up, great leadership isn't just about giving orders or hitting quarterly targets. It's about having a clear vision, showing genuine empathy, and maintaining unwavering accountability. And most importantly, you have to lead from the front. Develop these qualities and you will not only achieve success, but you'll also create an environment where people are eager to grow and where they will excel. Remember, leadership is a journey, not a destination. It's about constant evolution and improvement. If you found this content insightful, subscribe, smash the like button, share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. I respond to just about every one of them. I'd love to hear what other qualities you think define a great leader. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.